boyfriend dumped me yesterday, and he was like, I don't know, I just didn't know I wasn't going to be ready for a relationship. And I totally get that. I mean, it was honestly unfair of me to expect him to be in touch with his own emotions because, like, you know, boys get surprised by their own emotions like a baby gets surprised by a fart. You know, they...
Really? I get being disappointed and frustrated that he broke up with you, but at the same time, you shouldn't be making fun of him. In a lot of cases, men aren't even able to express their emotions at all. So yeah, some men are gonna have a little bit of trouble in that area, and that's fine. You should be glad that as soon as he realized what was going on in his head, he terminated the relationship so he wouldn't drag it out any longer than it had to be dragged out. This man is clearly showing some effort, and he's trying his best, and you're just putting him down, comparing him to a baby. It looks like that man dodged a seriously bad and toxic relationship, so it looks like he did the right thing.
You want to know what it's like dating a finance bro? This is what my home office looks like, and I need someone to let me know if I'm crazy for thinking that his setup looks absolutely fucking ridiculous. Dog, like, I don't even think this is picking up just how ridiculous these displays are. This is how big the displays are. This is my hand. Here's my hand compared to the size of one display because these are like curved or whatever the fuck. Another example, I am the one who actually works from home. This is my desk setup. It's the way these displays make my 32-inch display look absolutely puny.
I don't see what the problem is. If you guys are both getting the work that you need to done, what's the problem? That's the point of a home office. I think it looks great. It's clean, it's minimal, like, what's the problem? Is he supposed to have a setup that doesn't work just so it looks pretty? What's the point of that? Men are smart, they like to be efficient, and if 4 screens makes him efficient, every man dreams of having a woman that will look at him like that. If this woman had any doubt about whether or not she was marrying the right man, I think that cleared after that whole incident. A man that can make the best out of a bad situation is literally the best.
Unpopular opinion, but I literally think that women should be paid to exist. I know y'all are probably gonna be like, what? But no, follow me on this. Follow me on this. So one, like, our bodies literally create life, y'all.
And we can't do that without a man. We need his help.
And then even women who, like, have already had children, they should still get paid because guess what? Like, the life of a mother, like, that's a whole job within itself.
And so should a father because that's a job in itself as well. And not only that, but how would that work? The women that don't want kids are now required to have kids because they're being paid for their body's ability to do that? We're reducing women to that? You see how that's an issue? And I know a lot of women are gonna be like, well, no. Then how would that work? When you get a job, you have to do the job in your job description in order to get paid for that work. So if women were paid because of the stuff we can do with our bodies, then at that point there would be some sort of requirement in order to get the payment. Why men never assume that you're actually interested in them? For a lot of men, they have been used to make another man jealous. That's why they question your motives when you start making the first move. Or you're only talking to him because you want to date his friend and not him. And this is a big reason why it's so damaging for women to lead men on. Because so many men have dealt with situations that weren't authentic. They got their hopes up only to realize they were playing some sort of weird game. I definitely think women should still make the first move. But it might take a little while and you might have to really convince him that you're actually interested in him. Maybe compliment some of his unique qualities that you really like. In a lot of cases, women have talked about, hinting, looking at him a certain way, being disappointed when he doesn't catch it. This is also part of the reason. He also doesn't want to come off as a creep or a weirdo if he thinks that you like him. So men will often avoid coming to that conclusion any chance they get. Which is another reason why it's important to be extremely straightforward when making that first move. It's weird how once a woman gets married, no one asks her about her career aspirations anymore. The only questions are like, when are you having kids? Why don't you have kids yet? Us ladies want this to stop, we could single-handedly make it stop. Because I have never heard a man ask a woman that question. I have never been asked that question by a man. It's always women asking me that. In fact, men are always asking me about my career aspirations instead. But why is this being used to blame men when men aren't really contributing to this?
If someone stays with you after you've hurt them multiple times, they love you. If they give
Or they just know they can't find anyone better, and once they get that self-esteem up, you're gone.
You need to stay calm or you'll make it worse for everyone. I didn't really feel bad for him at that moment since I felt like he was just making things worse for himself. I also feel like he should have been more mature and not freaked out so easily. I just put my headphones in and tried to sleep the rest of the plane ride, which was hard because the plane kept shaking for almost a half hour after that. His hands were full of tissues. This was just the icing on the cake, and it felt like all my attraction to him just disappeared the moment I saw all those balled up tissues. It was just pathetic. I knew the relationship was over before we even got off the plane. When we got to the baggage carousel and found our luggage, I just quickly walked away from him and called my own Uber.
This is literally a man's worst nightmare. He started crying on a plane ride because it was really bad, and it was upsetting to a lot of people, not just him. So a lot of people were crying, not just him, and she broke up with him for it. This is why a lot of men will not open up to you. Because it unfortunately has been shown again and again that a woman loses respect for a man when he shows emotion like that. Until this changes, how are we supposed to have healthy relationships? A man shouldn't have to worry about his relationship ending because he has feelings like a normal person. Are you actually looking for a man that's good for you? Are you just looking for a guy you can show off to your friends and family? Are your checkboxes actually what you want, or what you think your friends and family would be impressed by? I think a lot of times us ladies are really happy with that simple, easygoing guy that may not have the best resume. He's the one that truly makes us happy. But then we get criticism from friends or family, or we're told that we deserve better. So instead we look for a man that will make our friends and family happy, instead of the man that will make us happy and who's right for us. You say we want to be a princess. Well, be Jasmine. She picks the sweet, kind guy that treats her well. And she doesn't give a shit of what her friends and family think, because she knows that Aladdin is right for her.
I told my girlfriend my type. It's been secretly eating at her, and I had no idea.
This is one of those trap questions, because in a lot of cases, if you describe a woman different from her, she's gonna feel worthless and like you didn't want her, you settled for her. Whereas if you describe a woman just like her, she might see it as you're only dating her because she has those qualities. And you wouldn't have considered a relationship with her if she didn't have those specific qualities. So don't answer this question, it's terrible. I don't see any of these things as a bad thing, but in general, you're not giving men enough credit. At the end of the day, holidays are supposed to be spending time with family and maybe doing a few fun activities. Every little detail doesn't matter. Those small details are just going to be forgotten anyways. So unless you really feel like it's necessary, who cares if those things are done? And I think we could all save a little money this holiday season. In general, that would be a good thing. I feel like your video is so relatable, so many people. I kind of hate that that expectation is laid down when you're a kid and told that you can easily become an astronaut, a marine biologist, and make crazy money and live in a mansion and have everything that you want. I feel like it sets so many children up for future disappointment, and they feel like they're not bringing value to the world when they're not doing those things. The reality is we all make a small difference no matter what we're doing, no matter where we work. We can affect the moods of people around us and help determine if they have a good or bad day. I think it's important to just focus on the smaller things like that rather than the big things, because the reality for most of us is we're just gonna have a very simple life. That's okay.
Underrated artist track.
This is my new makeup style. I can't wait to use it for date night.